Hello and welcome to a new unit of your history GCSE. It's called Germany, Democracy to Dictatorship, 1890 to 1945. The name of the unit should really let you know what we're going to be talking about. This whole section talks a lot about government, politics and political ideas. This is a different era or a different version of history than you might be used to. It might be something you're really interested in, it might be something you hate, but this is very different to the things we've been talking about before. Rather than talking about loads of different countries and the way they interact like we did in conflict and tension, or groups of people and the reasons they move in the migration unit, the Germany unit is about basically what happens to a country. Just the sole things that happen to Germany as a country and how their government deals with those issues. The issues might be different and the governments might be different. They might run themselves weirdly, but we were seeing how they react to change and how they react to fixing political issues in a country. So to start then, we're going to go right to the beginning. How does Germany even work? See, the thing is, the unit's from 1890, but to understand kind of what Germany is, you need to go back a little bit further. The first year where Germany was created as a country was 1871. Germany was unified in that time. If you can see on the map on the left hand side, there is a load of different colours on Germany. These are all states. They were small organised areas of function, but they weren't unified. They all spoke a language that was similar, that was German, but no one had decided to organise or run them all at once. And the big blue one you can see was called Prussia. That was the uniter, we might say, and they were united all of the countries under a militarism under Germany, and they created Germany in 1871 essentially. But it's really interesting to create a country. Normally countries kind of organise themselves and settle their borders with groups of people. Usually this happened long times ago, hundreds of years ago, but for Germany it was decided upon. They decided to create a country. They decided we're going to be Germany and here's how it's going to run. Which meant that the people in Prussia, what would then become Kaiser, decided how Germany would work. He listened to ideas from people and they got to choose how he wanted to run his country. And he decided, the king of Prussia, decided to become the leader of all of these states. He wanted to be in charge of all of them. So the word Kaiser essentially means emperor. Now, the Kaiser originally decided that the way Germany should work is that the Kaiser makes all decisions. The Kaiser is in control of the military and armed forces, and basically they are the king. They decide exactly how the country works. But just having the Kaiser on their own is probably a little bit tough. It's kind of a hard situation to just decide everything yourself, so the Kaiser decided to have some people support him. That meant that the Kaiser wanted two groups of people to be able to have their say in government. He created a group called the Reichstag, and he created a group called the Bundesrat. Now, the Reichstag is the one that still exists in Germany today. It's actually the German government today is called the Reichstag, but the Reichstag was made up of working class people, specifically working class men over the age of 25. Those group of people were voted upon to go and work in the Reichstag. They couldn't make any laws, but they were politicians. They could come up with laws and present them to the Kaiser, and the Kaiser could decide whether he wanted to go through with it or not. They would vote on things and basically give the ideas of what the general people of Germany feel should be done, which basically let the Kaiser know what he should do for his people. The Bundesrat was a slightly different version. The Bundesrat was the upper class version of the Reichstag. The richer people, the landowners, would vote and decide on certain politicians on their end, and they had the exact same job, present their ideas to the Kaiser so that the Kaiser can make decisions on what laws need to be made. The Kaiser would understand working class, poorer people's view on the world, and he would understand richer people's view and could decide what would go on. But that wasn't exactly perfectly enough. The Kaiser needed, should we say, an in-between. A lot of people probably were scared of the Kaiser's power, so the Kaiser needed some way for people to, support him. So he came up with one extra step, the chancellor. The Kaiser would choose basically the best politician of all of the politicians in Germany to be the chancellor, essentially head politician, or another word for it could be prime minister. What the chancellor could do is he also could make laws in Germany, as long as he got the support of Reichstag and Bundesrat, and with that power he'd be able to talk more closely with the Kaiser, work and understand the country more literally. Meanwhile, the Kaiser could go off and deal with the armed forces, for example. This is how Germany worked. This is how the system was put in place. You need to have a think about whether this is a good thing or a bad thing for Germany. You need to have a think about what might happen in this situation and who really has power here. So I'm going to give you a couple questions to try and answer you on your own using maybe the textbook pages on Teams or even rewatching this video. But firstly, you need to know how Germany was created, what's the original German government structure, the powers of the Kaiser, the powers of the chancellor, and the Reichstag and Bundesrat. What even are they? If you know those things, you should know what you're up to, but that's where I'm going to leave it for this. Good luck, see you later.